It is your Pratt Pack on a Tuesday night, and the president is at it again. President Trump saying today the federal government would seek the death penalty for murders committed in Washington, D.C. It's the latest move in a federal crackdown on crime, with Washington as the test case as the president ramps up federal law enforcement efforts in Washington and seeks to establish forces in each state's National Guard to be ready on short notice to address civil unrest. The president on Monday signed a crime-focused executive order that included a directive to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to organize the plan. Hear, bravo. Congratulations. Finally, someone is doing something to create a deterrent when it comes to these vicious crimes that continue to be committed at an alarming rate in cities across this great country. And what better blueprint than to start in the nation's capital? I have been saying for years it should be an eye for an eye. Why? A tooth for a tooth. Why? Because innocent people are being killed every day. And I am blessed that none of my family members or friends have been affected by this. But I can tell you unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, someone listening to me right now has dealt with the loss of a loved one because of, I like to say, these random acts of violence. And what happens? They go on trial, and then they get that appeal process, which seems to be their right in the criminal justice system. And then if they are sentenced to death, that penalty is rarely, if ever, carried out. And more than likely, they spend the rest of their time with 3 square meals a day, cable television, and a pillow to rest their head on at night. Now, no one says that prison is a picnic, but compared to having your life taken, and in many cases in the beginning or the best years of your life still ahead, I mean, what else are we going to have to do in America? How much longer are we going to have to take these criminals committing these heinous acts that destroy the surviving members of these families along with their friends for the rest of their time on this earth? Every picture they look at, every celebration they look back at, and every time someone mentions that person's name, the tears begin to fall. Visibly or not, they are shattered inside. So, all I'm saying is, in the back of anyone's mind who in that split second is thinking it is their God-given right to take someone's life because something didn't work in their favor, they will now realize that the man in charge, the commander-in-chief who sits at that desk at the Oval Office at the end of Pennsylvania Avenue is saying, look, you do murder a crime in my community, we are going to do everything legally possible to remove you from the planet. It's about time someone stands up for the victims in this great country whose lives in a split second is changed forever.